Hello friends, welcome to another edition of our YouTube channel, and I'm very glad to be sitting at Ciena office in Gurgaon today, and I welcome Amit Malik to our video. First of all, I would like to understand what are some of the key priorities that Ciena has for India today.
Firstly, thank you, Zia, for coming over and seeing us. It's a pleasure to be on your channel here and talking to your audience. But yes, talking about our priorities, I think it's probably an interesting time to be in India, right? With so much happening around us. From a priority perspective, I think it's multifold. Uh, so, if we see where is the growth really coming from, we are seeing a lot of growth coming from the hyperscalers,
Right.
which is a global phenomenon. And we often read what's really happening on the data center market, right? Multiple data centers coming up.
Right.
Some say the market's growing at 2x every year. Some say it'll probably become 10x by 2030. Multiple analysts out there, but we do believe that the market definitely will become 4x to 5x. In fact, we did our own survey, which is called the DCI survey that we did, and majority of the respondents, in fact, 77% of the respondents felt that the data center interconnect bandwidth requirement is likely to become 5x, right, over the next few years, which is very heartening. So obviously this becomes a priority for us. The other priority is we want to participate and be closer to our service providers here, the telcos.
Right.
And we've been very fortunate to work with all the telcos, right? Whether it is Bharti, whether it is Jio, or whether it is Vodafone. We work with all of them very, very closely and do most of the long haul networks for these service providers. Given the challenges that they are facing around automating, simplifying speeds and feeds, how do they cater to the newer demands of the enterprise? So our priority is to how we can help them make successful. So we are trying to ensure that we help them automate their networks, try and help them build what I say, networks for AI, because in this AI world, there is a lot of things that are changing in the networks. With the rise in capacity, the low latency demands that are coming up, we see how we can help them build the new networks. The third key priority for us is how do we diversify? Now, that's been a challenge which we are grappling with we were discussing over the last couple of years, but we've taken some big steps as a lot of this business can sometimes be cyclic as well. There might be large expansions coming in 1 year, next year the expansions could slow down, things like that. So as part of diversification, we started focusing on enterprise and government space. We started that focus last year, and we've already had some great wins like Microscan, Tejas. We work with carrier neutrals like Constill, Lightstorm, Sifi. So that's how we've broad-based our business as well. So broadly, that will be the top priority.
So today, if you look at the Indian telecom space, operators are looking at densification and embracing 5G, strengthening 4G. So just want to understand what is your role in all this here.
So I think what's really happening is we are seeing a significant amount of fiberization happening, what you're referring to as densification. And that means you need more and more routing capabilities to be built. The good part is we've started our journey on routing and switching not very long ago, but we are becoming a formidable player. Today, we have become a significant player in this industry as well as far as the telecom arena is concerned. Some of the leading players, I think we are, I would say, a key portion of their access routing. Let me put it this way.
So how Ciena plans to capture emerging opportunities, especially opportunities coming in the AI space?
So when we talk about AI, I think the world's just changed, because when we're talking about AI, we're talking about capacities which are just increasing very, very fast. We're talking about latencies which are getting lower and lower. Fortunately, we are a very innovative company, and we've got a lot of innovative products coming out. One such product is our WaveLogic 6, the core and modem which we have, which is the industry's first and the only 1.6 terabits per second modem. Now, the advantage that gives to people, to our customers who are actually wanting to be leaders in this AI race, is It firstly gives them that additional capacity, gives them much higher spectral efficiencies.
Right.
And the best part is it helps them conserve space and power. While it's pretty much doubling the capacity, it uses half the space and half the amount of power, which makes it a much more compelling proposition for our partners, our customers.
Okay. Now, can you share some insights towards current market trends that you see in India, and what is Ciena's vision for India in this year?
In fact, just a couple of months ago, we were at MWC in Barcelona, and we were talking to some of the leading service providers and wondering what is their top of the mind. But a common theme that is emerging is simplification of automation and making your automation more and more predictive. That means it has to have more and more elements of AI built in.
Right.
Which is again where I would say we are at the forefront.
Okay.
Because not only do we build very strong control platforms, like our Navigator, for instance. Now, the advantage with them, the simplicity they want is they don't want to use multiple dashboards. They're saying what has happened over the years, we've been trying to buy best of the breed for everything, and eventually we realize that we build silos and there are multiple dashboards.
Right.
So it is not simplification.
Right.
So we fortunately today are able to offer them a dashboard which is not only multi-level, but also multi-vendor. So that makes their job a lot more easier. From an automation story perspective, we do have Blue Planet as an offering which can help them into building an end-to-end automation story.
Okay.
So these are the kind of things which are really helping our customers.
Okay. Okay. And when you look at India today, I mean, the scenario has completely changed, right?
Absolutely.
Even beyond 5G, if we look at how we are moving and embracing the 6G standards, right? Today we are going to play a key role in terms of creating those standards, right? The Bharat 6G Alliance is already here. So what is your feeling about this, and how do you look at it?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's still some time away.
Okay.
And which is only fair to be some time away, because there has been a significant investment on 5G, and I'm sure all the service providers would like to sweat those assets,
right?
Because it is still fairly early days from a 5G monetization perspective, right? But it is good to be the thought leaders on 6G. I think what has changed is today we are seen as thought leaders there.
Yes.
Which is a fantastic thing. So today I can say that as a country, we have arrived on that world arena from a telecom perspective, where we become the thought leaders, that the world looks on to India for ideas on what next.
Right. Perfect. Now, despite building their own submarine cables, why hyperscalers are increasingly buying or leasing dedicated infrastructure from telcos to carry traffic to their expansive data center infrastructure?
Yeah. My apologies for the cough, but so there are regulatory issues, right? Because of which in India, for example, they don't do dark fiber. What we do is MOFN, yeah,
right,
where it's more of a managed optical fiber network, right? Where hyperscalers partner with service providers and vendors like us to have a complete solution ready, where the offering is run as a managed services by the service provider.
Okay.
And that is why we are seeing more and more MOFN build-outs happening in this country for all the hyperscalers.
Okay. And AI and AI computing is today a very trendy topic, and a lot of operators and on the overall telecom ecosystem is talking about it. So why do you think innovation in AI computing must be matched by advancements in networking to ensure reliable access to AI-driven services?
I think I'll probably take a step back on pure data center alone. So there was a time when you spoke to anybody around data center and they will say only two things matter: space and power. For a while, this was a thought process. The data center is a real estate topic. It's only space, power, space, power. We were at PTC in Hawaii about, this was last year.
Okay.
When we heard for the first time, most data center players and hyperscalers saying it is not about data center, space, power, it is about space, power, and networking. Because networking becomes absolutely critical. Because end of the day, in isolation, what will a data center do? You need to connect them.
Right.
And if you do not have reliable connectivity, then space and power alone will not get you there.
True.
Even in the survey that I mentioned, the DCS survey that we did, I think almost 60% of the respondents said they need space, power, reliability, and scalability. These are their care about.
Right.
So if the network is not there, which is reliable and scalable, space power alone will not make them successful.
Okay.
So that is the first thing that is happening on data center. Now, when we come to AI, the complexity becomes a little more.
Yes.
Why does the complexity become more? Is because the capacity is increasing at a pace which is unprecedented, right? Because suddenly what you were planning, say X, becomes 4X overnight.
Right.
You can't keep increasing bandwidth like that. How much will you increase your capacity overnight? And you can't design for everything, because you can't design for an absolute best case scenario as well.
True.
You have to take some sort of a judgment. And that is where the whole concept of adaptive networks comes in. So we today build these adaptive networks for our customers.
Okay.
Which help them manage their capacities a lot more effectively. Plus, there are strong elements of AI that we built in our offering itself.
Okay.
Which allows for predictive maintenance, which allows them to be smarter, which allows them to model their traffic a lot better and capacity a lot better.
Okay. Okay. And you mentioned that Ciena is looking at enterprise as a key segment. So, is there any specific go-to-market strategy that you have for targeting enterprise?
Yeah, so there are, from a go-to-market perspective, we have also started onboarding channel partners.
Okay.
So we have channel partners who've been onboarded. So we reach the market through channel partners as well as direct.
Okay.
There are both models which are open.
Okay.
But we are encouraging more and more partners to, because it's quite a large ocean.
Yes.
So we are trying to build partners. We're taking them through training programs, getting them through certifications.
These are primarily solution providers.
Yes, they are basically solution integrators or system integrators.
Great, great. And one last question on the innovation side, because Ciena has always been on the forefront of delivering innovation. So what can we expect from Ciena in the coming months on the innovation side?
So it's difficult to tell you what's in coming months, because once it comes out, it'll all be in the public domain, because there's always so much going, because Ciena is such a strong innovation engine.
Right.
Because if you see all of these milestones, whether it was first to 400 gigs, first to 800 gigs, and the first to 1.6 terabits, it's always been Ciena.
Right.
Always the first.
Right.
So there is obviously, an innovation is not a one-time process, it's a continuous thing.
True.
So at any given time, if you ask me, are you doing something? Yes, we're doing something. But when it becomes good enough to share it with the public, you'll hear about that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Amit. It's a pleasure to interact with you, and we look forward to more such interactions in the near future.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zia.
Thanks.